Fair enough. Of course, Aster, they do go ahead and pick up the Ember Spirit as their last pick, and it's another hero we've just seen over and over again throughout this meta, but it does work. It can close the distance very quickly, and again, there's not really many ways to stop him from doing what he wants in these team fights. I mean, you've got that Drow Ranger Gust. It's a great silence, but it's not as easy to hit as one would assume. Keen Gaming, though, finish off with the Necrophos. Fair enough. I still don't sit here having as much confidence as I feel like I should with Keen Gaming. Personally, Team Aster just does look a lot stronger with this draft. Then again, though, with the Necrophos, it does feel like it's going to be one of those games where it's just impossible to kill the Necrophos until at least Morphling has gotten up to that level where he just doesn't end up dying and just pumps out so much damage. Because you've got Old 11 there on that Omni Knight. With that Ghost form and the Purification, the Heavenly Grace coming out from Old 11, it does feel like Ying should have a pretty tough time dying this game, but overall, John, I'll ask you, as per usual, who do you think came out with the slightly better draft?
I'm still gonna have to stick to Aster. I feel like their draft definitely just works a bit better. Doesn't really rely too much on any single hero. If you look at Keen's side, sure, they're really durable with that. They have some really great push with that Drow, great damage as well, great rotating supports with that Tusk and Rubik. But overall, I just see from Aster's lineup, this just looks like lineups we've seen time and time again that do manage to find what they want. Look, you don't have the best control for the Ember. The Morphling is kind of countered by that Necro, but I don't think it's actually that bad. We have seen Morphlings actually work around that, especially with maybe something like a Lincoln's Rush that already takes a lot away from that Necrophos in terms of holding this Morphling down. So it's really not going to be an easy time. If Keen can get that early start and shut down the Morphling, which is going to be key here, as long as you keep Jay down, you could probably find a space as Keen. But if Morphling just even draws even with how the Drow is doing, you're in a bit of trouble if you're Keen.
I have to agree with you 100% on that one, John. We're going to find out what Keen's up to, though. Like, it's no stretch of the imagination is it kind of over in any sense just because of the draft. But it certainly looks pretty darn good right now for Aster getting into this game number one. Of course, is this a best of two, ladies and gentlemen, so don't panic. There is going to be a second game after this. It's, of course, the best of two round robin group stages for these qualifiers. Of your favorites, John, the pause coming out very early on.
Everyone needs a little bit of break. It's a very warm afternoon here in Southeast Asia, Mike. I have to tell you, it's really uncomfy. It's 12 noon. It's not the most common time for these qualifiers to get off. Usually, for the most part, when we cover these games, they usually start at 10 a.m., 11 a.m., or 1 p.m. I don't think I've ever seen something start at the middle of lunch.
It's happened a couple times. It might have been a while ago for us, though, to be fair. Sorry to hear that it's so hot over there, John. What is the temperature like?
I'd have to say, on a wild guess, around 34 to 36 degrees, probably.
Jesus.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's the middle of summer in Southeast Asia, and, me being where I am, right next to the equator, it's pretty warm. And that's just how it is the entire year for the most part. Unless it rains, then it's just kind of uncomfortably warm and wet. If it's daytime rain, it's definitely not as cold as you'd want. It's just kind of, okay, you're wet and hot. And you're just kind of upset, but you can't really do anything about that.
Seems rather miserable, doesn't it?
Explains a lot about my disposition.
Thank you, Jonathan. Always a pleasure to hear your thoughts on yourself. Wonder what the pause is for. Of course, there's a disconnection here from Q, but a couple PC issues starting us off for the day. I was excited though when I did find out the minor qualifiers were happening so early because we didn't have a break for quite a long time. We were casting constantly on different things, but that 1 day break we had, John, it did feel like it was I felt a bit empty. Not casting. It was a bit strange.
I mean, it was the first time in a while where we just had nothing. It's kind of rare nowadays. Like as you mentioned, we've just been really filled up, and it's been fun. Actually, it's been super fun. You have all sorts of events, and every single one is just different and kind of fun to watch. Like different regions as well. It feels like we've been around the world, Mike, with all the games you watched.
Hmm. Of course, TI tickets were announced today as well. Bit more pricey than usual. People weren't too happy about that, but this is how the cookie crumbles after all. It's probably going to be a very packed venue this time around, and kind of makes sense that it's a bit pricier than usual.
Yeah, I mean, they do kind of expect pretty good turnout. You know, it's right there in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Really big Dota city, of course. Entire region's pretty darn big for Dota. So, of course, they do need a way of kind of meeting demand, right? Just kind of increasing the price to stabilize demand. And, well, that's what you get. Pretty high price for the last 2 days.
Did you did you
But,
see the arena though? I mean, it's kind of insane, that Mercedes-Benz arena.
I mean, that's where the Shanghai majors were. And to be fair, it is a really nice venue. Yeah, but we have had a major there. It has happened there before. Uh, I'm not sure. Did you hear that? Did it go through my mic?
What's that, John?
Oh, okay. No, it's fine, because there was a helicopter really low.
No. I'm hearing it. I'm just making sure that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, it's like, Oh,
Are
I
they trying to find
unfortunately,
you?
I'm not sure why a helicopter would fly over me, but... Oh, that's a long Seb.
That is a long Seb. Good on you, Dark. Contributing to the prize pool, of course. Very nice to see. Looks like Q has ended up reconnecting, so hopefully we'll get to start off again very soon. It looks like they will give the go-ahead.
Yeah, going back to this draft, it does look like, again, Boboka is on that position 4 Shaker, and we are going to be seeing XXS on that Bat Rider. So, fairly typical. Again, the Shaker doesn't require as much early farm as the Bat. You definitely want some early items on your Bat more than you want your Shaker, but you will have to give some space to Boboka to get that initiation item up.
I mean, that's a fair point. Usually, like, if they're not core Earthshakers, it's usually the Blink Dagger you see coming out first. Ags is a bit more of a specialty item on these Earthshakers, though you never really know. Boboka, he might opt to go the Ags instead. Old chicken on that drought. Probably not going to be able to contest the banner, and it looks like the side of Keen will go up top and take those two bannerins off the side of Aster. Because I did think that there was going to be a patch coming out straight after the major qualifiers, but apparently not, which is upsetting. The meta will not change throughout the... I'm guessing they won't release another patch till the qualifiers are over for this minor now.
I reckon weren't the best guesses like after major, like right before TI. I'm not sure if they really are going to keep that meta stable, but the last I read, at least in terms of speculation, was that we will be kind of stuck in this patch until after Epicenter. So it might be a while. I mean, that's at the latest, I guess. It could happen earlier, but I think the latest bet is the safest bet as well.
Very upsetting news. Thank you for that, John. Looks like mid lane, Ying will be there on the Necrophos up against Chuan's Ember. Seen this matchup a couple times, and it does tend to just favor the Necrophos. Chuan probably going to struggle a bit, especially once those levels start to get up there on Ying on the Necro.
Yeah, I mean, again, the Necrophos just sustains himself by getting those last hits as well, and he does have range. He does have a really spammable spell. When he drops low, of course, once you have enough levels on that Ghost Shroud, you're not going to be that killable. The Ember can bring you down, so you have to be careful about that timing, but with a wand and proper use of that pulse, you should be able to sustain, and again, by level 3, Ying should be pretty set here. Chuan shouldn't be under any threat, but he's definitely not going to be able to find any sort of easy time in this lane.
Old 11, he will end up losing his life bot lane. I was watching him run away for so long. That miscall, though, in the end, just going to be barely enough damage to find the first blood. So Aster, a nice pickup for them. Old 11. He was running away for ages with that Heavenly Grace, but it turns out it was not enough regen in the end. Of course, up at the top lane as well, you see Keen Gaming, they're running that Trillion up against XXS, and now the lift is there with the tag team as well. XXS probably shouldn't be able to survive this much damage, and won't. He will have the same destiny as Old 11 up at the safe lane.
Yeah, again, this is the combination we were talking about coming out from Keen. Just that combination of the Drow and Tusk, the massive amounts of slow they pump out early on, does kind of secure you early kills, so I do like this draft from Keen on that basis alone. The synergy between Tusk and Drow is, you know, not as obvious, but very strong.
World 11, John. Bot lane again. Going to be in trouble. There was a nice Fisher block there from MLPDotA. They might actually die this. They got the Aphotic Shield up, and yeah, Q, he'll go in. He'll lose his life for the cause, but he was probably going to deny himself anyway. And Jay will go ahead and pick up Old 11. The rotation down to the bot lane was cancelled off, though. Mid lane now, Chuan is going to find himself in trouble. One more, and they will find it in the end. Kaka will pick that one up, though. It looks like Ying may end up losing his life in the process, though no Ghost Form is there. But Q had another missed call. Now Kaka, he gets fished up by MLPDotA, and it looks like he'll end up falling as well. So Aster looked bad for them for a second, but in fact, they're still going. XXS and Dark end up going down and trading with each other, apparently up at the top lane. So a lot of kills happening in the last 30 seconds or so.
I do like seeing this from both teams. Both really responsive to the rotations that's coming out from both sides, and really trading blows here. I feel like it is definitely a bit better for Keen, as they are finding core kills much more often, and the Drow hasn't died too much. In fact, you know, yeah, Old Chicken hasn't really been threatened too much. His supports have been copying it, but the Drow itself is having a pretty good time in terms of last hits as well.
Certainly is. Doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. I mean, MLPDotA has rotated up there with XXS now, but Dark is still also available there on the Tusk. So, should be alright. He's got that creep equilibrium really going his way as well. Like, XXS, he can't do much about this. It's going to be the main concern for Aster. Just allowing Old Chicken to farm this darn well. I mean, usually in the laning stage, you do see the Drow struggling a bit. And once they hit the level 6 is when they go into the jungle and catch up. But Old Chicken, he's going to get aggressive up against MLPDotA now. They're actually going to make the chase as well. Snowball will be there. MLPDotA, he will get stunned up. Now the Gust as well. He's trying to run towards that shrine, but there's no shrine anyway. But he gets a Fisher off in time. And now XXS comes in with the Firefly. The Old Chicken will TP out immediately. Dark, though, may be in trouble. He has a Snowball in about 4 seconds. XXS now going to start getting harassed. Old Chicken, another good Gust. And that'll stop any other attempts coming out for the Tusk's life. So XXS getting snowballed on, but it will not end up connecting in the end.
Again, it's that aggression you see from this duo, just the synergy between Tag Team and Drow. It's not, again, focusing on that precision ore, it's just what the Tusk can give in the lane.
They're going again, MLPDotA going to be in trouble. Kaka, he's rotated over on the Rubik, though they can't find the kill. Maybe XXS, though, would be even better. He goes over the Fisher, but Snowball is there to block. Kaka picks up a banner, and while he's at an XXS, surely doesn't survive this, but no, an uphill miss coming out for the Drown. The Fade Bolt would not be enough. They will get to the shrine in time, and that was very unfortunate, because Old Chicken, he actually missed one of those right clicks, John, and I believe that's what cost him the kill.
Yeah, it's a fairly close call, but overall, you know, it's still kind of a win for Keen. They managed to pick out those bounty runes as well, so a 2-for-2 trade, not the biggest, but at least you draw even still. And again, it's pretty good responses from both teams, just the rotations from KG to make sure the Drow can kind of find these early kills, kind of making sure this aggression pays off. At the same time, Aster responding in kind and making it much harder than it should be for Keen. It's just really great awareness from both teams to secure that good start.
Certainly was. 4-5 now, 6 minutes in. Q actually going to hang around that mid lane on the Abaddon for a while, it seems. Perhaps just trying to make sure Chuan's going to have a decent time, though. He's already about 15 last hits behind Ying on that Necrophos. And yeah, it does seem like Q's just going to stand there and spam out miscoils. Try and help out, though. He's got to be careful because Ying is level 6. As soon as he sees Q get below that half HP threshold, he might go for the kill. Chuan gonna enjoy all these missed calls and now goes in with the chains. The Ying. I think he probably went in to try and throw out the ghost form and bait them in a bit further, but Q was just there with the missed call and just got the kill.
Yeah, you really can't afford to do that too often as a Necro. You're not really the greatest flash farming hero as well, so you kind of rely on a great laning start. And if you fall behind, it's just hard to play catch-up.
Well, Kaka as well, finding XXS up at the top lane and now looking for Baboka as well. Doesn't have the lift available, so won't go for the kill, but make it a 5-6 now, and again, King Gaming really starting to come out on top. But the man we haven't talked about too much this game quite yet is Jay at the bot lane on the Morphling, and he's top of the last hits board at the moment. Does have one kill on the Morph as well, and we all know if these Morphlings go uncontested for too long, they tend to get a bit out of control.
Definitely so, right? The Morphling just really enjoys the early farm and EXP. They can kind of switch into the jungle if they opt for an early Morbid Mask, but it looks like with his power treads coming out from Jay, they just kind of want to be active early on.
They're going to make a chase onto Old 11 now. Waveform is available. They will waveform in. The Heavenly Grace already being committed. Purification is there as well. Now the Shrine, though, Aster, that almost looked like they weren't going to back off. In the end, they realize there's no point to this, and they do go back to the creep waves. Still, though, the net worth on Jay right now is sitting at 3.6k. It's about 200 gold more than the Drow has right now as well.
It's really just down to how the lanes are coming out. Again, the pressure Aster is applying up top just means that Keen does have to keep their supports up there to keep Old Chicken safe. And that does mean, you know, Old Chicken just can't find as much. He is a bit more contested in this lane. Whereas Jay is really just facing off against Old 11. And there's only so much an Omni can do.
We see at the top jungle spot again, Keen Gaming, they end up finding XXS on that Batrider and easily take him down with just the Rubik in the Tusk. And Aster starting to really fall behind this game apart from that Morph. Chuan doing his best to catch up to Ying on the Necrophos, but is about 700 gold behind now. Fortunately for him, the Abaddon camping his lane didn't really help the cause as much as he would have hoped. Of course, Q doesn't even waste his time there anymore. He just wants to rotate up to the top lane, where they may be able to find even more. Though, Baboka not throwing out the Fisher in time, and Kaka, he'll get away. Now they'll just jump on Q as well. And that's a bit of miscommunication coming out from Aster. You saw Baboka, he was just cancelling that Fisher over and over again. By that point, Q had already run in. So they just gave a kill away for really nothing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a shame for Aster. They are losing a lot of ground with all these kills. A 1k net worth lead now for Keen, not the most significant lead, but still a pretty nice lead at 9 minutes in, of course. And again, you're starting to see the Drow really find the space she needs. Old Chicken now really just taking his time in the jungle, and Aster is in no position to contest. They don't have any wards, they don't have any way of watching this.
Bot lane, John Baboka will end up losing his life to Ying, who Reaper's Scythe straight away. Of course, they were trying to go for a gank onto Old 11, but he just walks away perfectly fine from all that. Ying will now take the bot lane up against Jay as well, trying to slow him down on the Morph. It's a Kaka as well. Top lane will have space now on that Rubik to get a bit of XP and gold himself. Of course, that is due to the fact that Old Chicken is just farming the jungle for free right now. I suppose that's one of the other things about having a Drow on your side of things is once they hit that level 6, it does free up a whole lane for one of the supports to just farm up for free.
It definitely does. And again, Aster is just in no position to really spot Old Chicken anymore. They're not going to be applying pressure to this Drow, and he should be able to free farm quite fast. We have seen this time and time before. If the Drow gets this good of a start uncontested, it tends to be trouble for the opposing team.
Yeah. Looks like Jay will just be up to full HP thanks to Q. One of those disgusting little mechanics in Dota where go for the attribute shift into the miscoil spam and suddenly after 2 miscoils, you're almost at full HP. Of course, Ying won't even waste his time anymore. He just goes straight to the jungle and just keeps farming up. So Q is planning to stick around at the bot lane. Meanwhile, MLPDotA, he'll rotate over to the mid lane where Dark is on the Tusk. Though Chuan is having a look right now. He knows the Tusk is somewhere and does end up finding him. Now the Fisher as well will connect. Dark, he'll go for a snowball onto the range creep, though still should be dead. He's going to get chased down, though Old 11 will come in with the purification. Now the Remnants will not get the job done. Much heal there from Old 11 to make sure his Tusk stays alive. Meanwhile, top lane, however, XXS chasing Kaka right now on the Rubik. The Firefly on Kaka will wear off, and Jay is there to finish the job off. They might even look for more, though, but Old Chicken doing a lot of damage on that Drow. Now there's 4 heroes up at the top lane, though. Old Chicken does need some help here. They will find MLPDotA into the mid lane, though. Drow's still alive. Old Chicken, he will end up finally losing his life. And it looks like instead of trying to save the Drow, they just went for the MLPDotA kill mid lane, and will go ahead and claim the T1 tower. And I suppose in the end, you'd probably call that worthwhile.
I would normally say it's worthwhile getting that added map control for Keen. In this case, I actually feel like it's not. Mainly because you do sacrifice that Drow who wants that good start. And that mid-tier 1, it's usually good for heroes that want to rotate in, locking that jungle out. But in this case, we haven't seen that too much from Keen. They've been much more eager to kind of protect the Drow, sitting around that same area. Sure, they have kind of ventured in every now and again, but I don't see this paying off as much unless we really see Dark just constantly rotating with Rubik, which they have done again earlier on, but it's just not too often for me to say that it's 100% worthwhile. You still want to give Old Chicken just a free time. I think that's really going to be the key for the momentum of Keen.
Well, they do go ahead and claim another T1 top tower now, and it looks like they are planning to get rather aggressive here with the side of Aster. Top lane Q, going to be there to defend on the Abaddon, but that's probably not going to stop Ying from taking down that tower rather quickly. I say quickly, but I say quickly in terms of a Necrophos who does have the Drow aura right now and does take it a lot faster than usual. XXS though will be there as well in the back, but they will snowball in. Rod of Atos will be there as well as the shards. It won't stop him from climbing over the shards, but it will be enough damage to take him out though. Kaka now going to be in trouble and does lose his life, and now the Echo comes in from MLPDotA. He's just doing a lot of damage there on the side of Keen Gaming. They have the Guardian Angel and Heavenly Grace being thrown out onto Ying. Old 11 will not survive the damage. Ying now just trying to make a run for a Dark. He can't do much to help out, and he goes down as well. 4 heroes being lost here. Chuan, he finds a triple kill on the Ember Spirit. And they did not end up doing enough to that T2 tower to make that worthwhile at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you're frontlining with a Necrophos right-clicking a tower, it's not going to be fast. Even without Drow, sure, you right-click a bit faster, but at this point in the game, your right-click damage, even with that talent, is just not going to be great against buildings. And again, you just don't do enough chip damage. Now, they did sustain for a long time, but the Guardian Angel really doesn't save you from a big Echo Slam, which did come out from MLPDotA, and the magic damage coming out from Chuan as well. So your options there are kind of limited, and I was a bit surprised Keen actually opted to stay that close to the tower.
Aster, they do end up punishing very hard. See what this translates to for them, because again, they are just in the farming game right now. Chuan still trying to pick up that Maelstrom on the Ember. Is about to though. He does have enough gold for that Mithril Hammer, and in fact they're going to go for a kill here onto Ying. They do have a double damage there on the Ember as well. Ying, he'll get lassoed back. They will snowball in with the Tusk as well, but Dark, can he really get the job done himself? Ying somehow still alive, and now the Ghost form. He will reap aside for MLPDotA, and they're actually winning this team fight, KG. Keen Gaming. Just so hard to take down, and Old 11 now rotates around as well, and Aster, they'll lose Q as well. The tables turn straight away. Chuan, the only survivor there in the mid lane, and now the tier 2 tower, while Old Chicken's there on the Drow, is a lot easier to take down, and it looks like it will be the case here. I just don't see Aster being able to defend this.
Yeah, especially not without Jay. Just whenever these fights break out without Jay, they just really lack damage.
Oh, they found the Ember as well. Chuan, he got caught out by Kaka, and he did have the Fisher available on the Rubik as well. Now they go for the T3 tower. Just try and force out a buyback on that Ember, though Chuan doesn't actually have a buyback available right now. This is a very quick T3 coming out from the side of Keen Gaming. They are going to try and TP people down to stop this, but the T3 at the very least is dead. They probably won't go for a Rax, however, Old Chicken, he's just going to try and run his way out of there once the fish is gone. Though for the moment, he is trapped in there. It looks like he will be able to walk out, though, safely. 16 minutes in. Shrines are now open for King Gaming.
That really is the effect of a drow, though, right? Like, so when you do find that momentum and you play it right, and you take that one pivotal team fight where you know you can pretty much wipe them, you can translate that to very fast objectives, and that was a very quick push coming out. That's really what happens when you have that drow in front, hitting those buildings. You're not relying on the necros. So you do have to be cautious about that if you're Aster. You've just lost your tier 3s, your shrines are about to go, and now I can confidently say King Gaming has control of the map. Right, that entire top jungle is in Keen's hands now, and they can safely rotate as well. In fact, they smoke up.
They found Jay mid lane, but they've got to make the jump. He's got a rod of Atos there on Ying, and Jay be alright. Sleight of fist now from Chuan, and Q's going to run in. They will realize Jay, they do have the rest of the team behind them. Chuan, though, moving in, still Snowball will be there on MLPDotA, though they missed the shards. And I think that'll be it for King Gaming. They probably don't want to chase this any further. It looks like they will not. To say that, they've just returned back into that mid lane. Fisher will connect. Jay, though, going to just walk out of there safely. Now Ying, he will go ahead and pick up a full mech on the Necrophos, and it looks like they want to try and make a Roche play. Now the thing is, Aster, they did have a ward scouting that out, and it's pretty obvious they're taking it. XXS now with the Firefly, gonna scout it out though. Fisher is there, double Fisher infected, and a lasso being used as well. They really want this Omni Knight though. Jay still perfectly fine throughout all this as well. Nobody going down quite yet. Chance will be nice, it will really just trap Q in there, and it looks like that'll be an easy kill on the Abaddon, though no. Borrowed time will kick in. Now another nice Fisher coming out from MLPDotA, but the Guardian Angel comes out, and Ying will survive, and now Echo. It won't be enough though. MLPDotA, he loses his life, and now Jay came in. He's copping a lot of damage though from this drow. The attribute shift will not be enough in the end. XXS, he's going to try and get out of there. He does get up the high ground, and he'll be fine for the moment. So they still know where he is, but nice sleight there from Chuan to find Old Chicken on the drow. So a 2-for-1 trade, it seemed like. They did end up getting Jay on the Morphling, and, well, that'll be the end of that. They also force out MLPDotA's buyback on the Earthshaker, and in fact, Old 11 still around the area. Still, with the Heavenly Grace, is going to be pretty tanky, and, well, nice shards is there from Dark. Rod of Atos will connect on XSS as well. But I imagine both teams are just going to wait for their position 1s to come back before they engage again.
It does look that way. They aren't really giving away any ground. It looks like they really want to keep that Roche in check, which is fair enough. Right? That's going to be the next major objective for Keen, and Aster will not want to give that away. It's going to be hard to contest it this time around without the Echo Slam, though, as MLPDotA did expend that in the last fight, so this team fight in the Roche pit is going to be a bit harder for Aster.
Well, they just got the lasso back up at the very least. Bannerins as well coming up now. Chuan gonna go in onto Dark, and now the lasso being committed for this Tusk kill. Gus will connect though on the Ember. Now Rod of Atos, but it won't be enough. Chuan, he'll be fine. They do buy back on Dark as well. And it looks like they still want to persist for this Roshan. It isn't too often we see this, but King Gaming still feeling very, very confident about this Roche attempt. Aster not planning to let it go anytime soon. Fisher will be there from MLPDotA once again. Chuan just being very annoying with that sleight of fist spam, but he will have to heal up a bit. Again, they go back into that Roshan pit. Dark, he'll get started with Old Chicken. They're doing a lot of damage to that Roshan, though. They've got to get in there soon on the side of Aster. Chuan looking to go in, though it's too late. The Aegis has been picked up now, and they want to go in on the side of King Gaming. There's a snowball going straight to that Ember. Chuan, he gets Rod of Atos up as well, but Old 11 getting pretty darn low. Not low enough, though. They take down Dark on the Tusk. Now that's a dieback on him. Jay, meanwhile, jumping straight on Kaka. They want this Rubik, and it looks like they will find him. In fact, no. Old Chicken, he found the Gust in time, but Jay was already morphing into strength. Now Chuan moving back in, and the Echo from MLPDotA. He found all three of them. They're going to find Ying. The only one left there is the Drow. Old 11, though, still trying to run off as well. but it looks like Old Chicken surely goes down here. He's just trapped in place. Nice vision from Kaka. They're going to try and turn it around again, though it won't be enough. Old Chicken, he's gone as well. Now Kaka will be chased down on the Rubik, though Aster will allow them to leave. The Aegis was claimed, but it was immediately taken away by the side of Aster as well.
And that's a massive gold swing just off the back of that one fight. It was a 3k lead for Keen. Now it's less than 1k. That's a massive swing going the way of Aster, and they do just find all the pickoffs they want. I think Keen really held out a bit too long on that Roche. They gave way too much time, but Boca did manage to, in fact, get his Echo Slam back up. That's how long that fight took around Roche Pit. And again, you know, when you have all these tools available on Aster, when you don't really find the pickoff on Keen, you know, when you are forced to buy back on these heroes that don't make it into the fight in time, it's a bit rough for Keen. And again, it's down to finding the targets. XXS going onto that Tusk first, knowing that really Dark is going to be the key to stopping that initiation.
Q going to be forced to borrow time, it seems like, and Shards actually Dark will not connect them. Seems like King Gaming, they still want to go through that mid lane. Like, they are not backing off anytime soon. But they've given Aster so many ways to get back into this game now. Like, Jay, he's just farming up way too well on that Morphling. He's going to have an Ethereal Blade up in probably about 5 minutes maximum. Just needs to have that Equal Song up on the Morph. Meanwhile, Old Chicken trying to go ahead and pick himself up a Hurricane Pike. He opted to go for the Shadow Blade build on the Drow. We'll see how much that pays off for him in the end, but probably just to be able to set up with that Gust for the team. I imagine Aster probably will pick up detection relatively soon for that. In fact, Aster have gone for a smoke of their own now. 11 was the closest target, though he does run towards the west of the map. So they found an even better target now in Old Chicken, but they do run up and they find Ying on the Necro. They do lasso him back as well, though Old 11 is around the area on that Omni Knight. Ying still very healthy. That'll be the end of that. Aster will not pursue any further.
Yeah, again, we're seeing pretty conservative play from both sides. People always say that, but Old Chicken is kind of caught out.
Well, it looks like he was trying to catch out Chuan on the Ember. He did end up hitting the Gust, but Chuan will just be able to remnant his way out of there eventually.
And again, it does look like both sides are kind of happy just farming up. You know, Keen Gaming still needs a lot more in their Drow at the same time. Aster needs that E-Blade up on Jay before they can really feel comfy jumping in and bursting heroes down.
Keen broke their smoke for an illusion.
I mean, you know, it's really just trying to get that jump. They do get the good jump onto Chuan, but it's not enough. They don't commit the Reaper's Sight as well to try to burst him down and keep him in place. I do believe Old Chicken wasn't in position for the Gust, so they're just going to take this tier 1 and kind of be happy about it.
I mean, look, it's still a very nice pick-off for them, and Ying, he'll go ahead and finish up those Guardian Greaves now as well. Just a matter of how much time Keen Gaming have with this draft. Eagle Song is about to be picked up there on the Morphling, though. The thing is, if Jay picks that up and ends up dying, that might mean a Rack's being lost, because he won't have the buyback gold available. Looks like the side of Aster are okay to leave this tier 2 tower to go down. Ethereal Blade does completely get finished now on Jay as well. Keen, looks like they are going to keep going down to the bot lane. They aren't stopping anytime soon. At least force back the heroes of King Gaming and try to force the defense out. Tier 3 tower going to get started on. All the rotations are coming in now, and Keen perhaps not interested in pursuing any further. They'll back off to safety.
Again, it's a pretty safe bet. You don't really want to risk that high ground push without the Aegis, which, you know, if they still had that Aegis, I wouldn't have been seeing King Gaming backing off. But because, again, it got expended really fast early on, they're just not comfy taking these high ground fights. Aster just has way too many tools to punish quite hard.
We'll go ahead and take that bot shrine now on the side of Aster. Meanwhile, Aster, they have gone for a smoke now. And of course, MLPDotA, he does have the blink up on the Earthshaker, so you've got to be very wary of that. KG definitely don't want to get caught out with their pants down here, but they may have no choice in the matter. In fact, they do get the lasso off onto Ying straight away. Try and burst out that Necrophos, and they do. Now they'll jump straight onto the Omni, Old 11. He's another great target here for the side of Aster, though. Nice cast will come out from Old Chicken. Old 11. Still okay, the waveform is there, and now the Remnants, the Guardian Angel, and now the Echo. MLPDotA, he found another one. Kaka will get caught out on the Rubik. The Guardian Angel is nice, but not nice enough. 3 heroes going down for the side of Keen Gaming. And that should be a T3 tower, and perhaps even a Rax going to the way of Aster.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy defense with a Drow and Tusk. You just don't really have that much potential up against 5 heroes, so they will have to kind of just give away this tier 3, maybe even a Rax, but I don't see them losing any more than that. You're going to have the respawns on the Rubik and the Omni fairly soon, so there's not too much time to be toying around here. Besides, there are still tier 2 towers outside.
It's certainly, though, up against a Drow lineup, you're going to be more than happy to take the first Rax of the game. And Aster going to go straight for that top shrine next. Of course, setting themselves up for the Roshan. There'll be a bit of time before we do see that next Roshan, but no issue in setting up ASAP for that. Aster. I mean, it looks great for the side of Keen Gaming earlier on, but Aster just all over this game now.
It really comes down to that prolonged Roche fight. Just Keen Gaming really prioritizing that objective and overextending their stay there. Just getting very heavily punished, and we are feeling the effects of that now. Just no Aegis to push that high ground earlier on. Kind of lacking farm to Drow now, definitely, especially compared to that Morph. And you are starting to taper off just a bit, and it's not the best sign for Keen. Again, they are running a bit of a Drow strat, but they still haven't found the objectives they want.
Oh, Chicken. Be careful here. Chuan wants to go for a fight, though. Oh, Chicken does a lot more damage than Chuan does right now, so he won't mind standing there. Meanwhile, Q getting caught out on the Abaddon. Shards will not connect. They will, however, get the borrowed time out of Q, and now they will not let him go. He's just trapped in that tree line. Does have a TP and actually going to go for it as well. They won't find him.
No way. No way. Oh.
I mean, I thought that was
under ward as well.
That's even worse. An observer ward was already there, being placed by Q on the Abaddon. Of course, Aster still playing positioned rather dangerously. I mean, MLPDotA does get caught out.
Now that you're dead.
At the very least, he does make sure Jay gets away, because Jay was just standing there farming the neutrals, but considering they saw the smoke, it's kind of interesting they stuck around there.
Yeah, it's a bit strange that they still opted to stay there. Maybe they didn't think Keen would have spotted them out. Maybe they thought they were going to chase Chuan at bot lane instead. But again, that would have been a bit optimistic. It's definitely a bit too far for Keen to have worked their way into. So a nice clean pick-off going the way of Keen. And again, they start pushing in that mid lane.
There will be a defense coming out from Aster once again. Oh, Chicken, though, how fast can you take the Rax? Not as fast as you would hope. Chuan will be there on the Ember to try and defend. They will force out the fortification on Keen Gaming. Silence now as well on Chuan, though. Seems to be okay. Keen Gaming, they're probably actually going to be able to take this Rax. I thought there'd be a better defense than this, but they never make the jump, and Old Chicken, he'll just take it for free. So they will get the lasso off Ying. He does get the Heavenly Grace placed on him. That will, of course, dispel the lasso, though he still is in trouble. A lot of damage there from Jay. Guardian Greaves will heal him up, though. Jay still making the chase, and now the Fisher from MLPDotA. They will go on to Chuan instead, perhaps. Now the Snowball Dark wants to try and turn it around. Reaper's Scythe, Chuan, he'll be alright. He'll jump back in, however. Now the Guardian Angel, Ying, still making the chase there onto the Abaddon. In fact, Jay, he ended up finding Dark on the Tusk. They will lose Q in the end. Both buybacks coming out, but MLPDotA now being chased down by Ying, just trying to find that Earthshaker kill, and they almost find him, and they do in the end. Aster still trying to go for the fight, but Old Chicken just dealing so much damage. The Ghost Scepter will not be enough. In fact, they will get the damage off in the end, but Chuan now gets stunned up. Does he have a way out of this one? Jay copying way too much damage as well. Ying just trying to take him down, but the attribute shift keeping him alive throughout all this. Look at the damage there onto this Morphling, just being able to waveform out anyway. Still, they do lose 3 heroes on the side of Aster. They will buy back on Chuan. Old Chicken, of course, though, going down on the side of Keen Gaming, and that may just stop any push attempt anyway from the Radiant side.
Definitely will. I think the one key thing there for Aster was the fact that the Echo Slam for MLPDotA just didn't come out. He kind of just dropped too low, was holding out for everyone to clump up, but it wasn't really a tight spot to begin with. Keen Gaming had pretty big space to play around, and that opportunity just wasn't there, so a bit of a shame for MLPDotA. They're gonna need that spell. Every single time these team fights break out, the ace in the hole for Aster is that Echo Slam. Because there's nothing else on Keen Gaming's side that has that same impact as well. It's going to be riding on this Earthshaker, and if MLPDotA gets picked off like that again, the team fight's actually going to be very hard for Aster to take.
MLPDotA almost getting caught out there by Dark. Roshan, of course, is back up now, and you know how much Keen Gaming likes that Roshan. See, when they do plan to go in fact, I say that, it looks like they plan to go right now. Old Chicken's setting up for it. But they could make a jump on Jay here in the mid lane. They won't do so. There will be a smoke from Aster.
It wasn't under ward again, though.
What is these weird wards coming out from King Gaming? Like, they keep placing these very unusual observed wards in the lanes that you aren't really used to seeing, but I guess for these smoke rotations, they are very nice. Again, there will be a Firefly there from XXS. He knows they're up the hill. He will be KB in and Lasso as well. Who is he actually caught out there? It is the Omni Knight. He'll probably be okay, though. He's a pretty tanky target, though. Fury Blade will come out with the adaptive. It won't be enough. Now they will go in for more, though. Chuan does have a nice chains in the back lines. Jay doing the same, and now the Echo Slam as well, but the Guardian Angel coming out. It won't be enough for Kaka. They've lost MLPDotA as well, though. Now Jay just trying to move in straight onto Dark, and they do find him. The Gust from Old Chicken just trying to go after that Morphling, but he's so darn tanky. Old Chicken now going to be in trouble. XXS on top of him with the Firefly, and it looks like he will end up going down. Ying in the middle of all this as well, but he's going to be surrounded. Can they find these kills? Chuan moving in by himself. Now Jay doing the same as well. Kaka, he'll die back on the Rubik. Ying somehow still alive. He'll go form up as well. There will be a flame break there from XXS, though they won't be able to find the last two kills, it seems like. Old 11 and Ying just way too tanky. Chuan and Jay will back off. Even though it is a 3v2, those two targets are just too dangerous to try and go up against.
Definitely is, and again, just Aster slowly getting the lead here. They did force out 2 buybacks in that last fight as well. And again, we go back to that previous point. As long as MLPDotA can jump the back line and get that slam off, even though it doesn't really kill anyone, it's enough to disrupt that fight and turn it Aster's way. Sure, that was a bit costlier from Aster's side, but again, they forced out 2 buybacks, and I think you are fairly happy with that trade. Now, you're seeing Jay as well. He's level 20. He was morphing into the Ember Spirit, just doing a lot of chaos as well. We haven't seen him really work that way onto MLPDotA with the Earthshaker. And once that is there in the middle of the team fight, he's going to be whacking people for so hard that it's going to be a wonder if Keen can actually survive, especially something squishy like the Drow Ranger. 1.8k HP. I'm guessing Jay will probably hit for about 1.3k with that Enchant Totem. So it's you know, it's just a right click and then the E-Blade, and I think you can expect Old Chicken to be blown out if he's not careful.
Certainly so. But there might not be enough time to get all that done, though. He does have the BKB. We'll find out, like, whether they do opt for that on Jay. Of course, it is a very nice thing to see, but... Well, Keen, gonna go for a smoke. They will loop around Aster. Well, they're going to spot out Jay as well on that Morphling, though. They will go onto Q first, and now the Hex is there on Jay, but it's not going to be fast enough. Reaper Scythe was already committed as well, and Q going to be alive thanks to that borrowed time. And a very messy engagement. 2 targets being taken care of there from Keen Gaming, but they didn't actually find anybody because they tried to go on Q first, and then somebody else tried to go on Jay instead.
Yeah, it was definitely optimistic that you could burst down to Morphling while Q was still there, popping that shield up. You just don't have the burst to really make that happen, and there we go. Right now, not max level enchant yet, so it's just about 900, 1000 damage coming out from Morph, but still a massive amount.
I can only imagine where we're going to be sitting once that is at level 4. It's still at level 2 right at the moment. Still, it's going to help with the Roshan, though. The Roshan, this time around, going to be started by Aster, and looks like it might just be finished by Aster unless Keen. They do move in. They'll blink in straight with Old 11. Roshan's still relatively healthy. Now the Fisher as well from Baboka. Though they have jumped in with the lasso straight onto Old Chicken. Now the Echo, but Baboka! He used it before he blinked! Oh, that's not good. Now they hex him up as well, and he's probably going to go down here. Old Chicken doing a lot of damage. He'll go into XXS as well, and he's lost his life. Chuan is there with the Sleight of Fist, so they found a nice shards there onto Jay. Oh, that Echo Slam. That is not what you want to see. Keen Gaming still willing to fight this Q. He's in the front lines, though borrowed time will come in handy. Just in the nick of time. Gust is nice with the Morphling, though Jay will survive it thanks to the Manta. Keen, just so much sustainability here. Like, how much healing do these men have? They're just going to walk straight back into that Roshan, it seems. And I mean, with this Omni, with this Necrophos, you just keep resetting over and over again. Roshan, gonna get started again. Though Jay will jump in. XXS, he bought back for this. They're going to jump onto Q. Borrowed time is available in 5 seconds, but they won't have it in time. Old Chicken now. He'll get lassoed up, though. Can they burst him? No, they cannot. The lasso's been stolen there by Kaka. Now the Reaper Scythe as well gets taken out. Jay, he's just trying to get out of there safely. Chuan, nice shards is there onto Jay. Can they burst him down quick enough? They may be able to. He mantas up, but the damage is there. And now the Ethereal just keeping himself in that ghost form. The chains as well from Chuan. Just holding them in, but Jay, he'll end up losing his life. A triple coming out for Ying. The buyback will be there, but again, King Gaming, they're almost basically at full HP again. They just have so much reset potential, and the Roshan's almost already gone.
Yeah, and again, that was just really unfortunate coming out from Baboka not getting that slam off. Bit of a mistake there, but I think the key thing that actually turned that fight were the 2 stolen lassos. 2 stolen lassos from Kaka. He managed to steal it twice in the course of that fight, and now, you know, he managed to steal Attribute Shift, so he's gonna have 3k HP, and as Rubik, you don't really mind not having Agi, so look at that! How do you kill this Rubik? At this point, he has 3k HP, even with just 1 armor.
Yeah?
That still comes out massively better.
It's pretty hilarious. Like, you think it was hard enough to kill these King Gaming heroes, and even the Rubik just going to be that much more painful. Got more than the Tusk right now, which is pretty hilarious. Got more than Old 11 on the Omni Knight. Always good to see.
Radiant structures
And with that, they'll go for another tier 3 tower. Old Chicken is going to be able to hit it from a very long range away. They'll at least find the tier 3 though. Will they go for more? They have the Aegis on Old Chicken. Hit Rax. Already gone. The top one not going to last too much longer, though the fortification will force KG back just a bit. Now they try to blow up the Necrophos, but he heals up so quickly in that ghost form. And back to full HP he is. It just, I mean, they can defend the high ground pretty well here on the side of Aster, but how do you kill anybody? They'll get the Hex off onto Chuan. In fact, no, that's Jay they've got the Hex off onto. No follow-up damage, however. Now XXS TPing back in. The Echo comes out, but Boca just ripping apart Dark on the task. Now the lasso as well. They'll be able to find another. In fact, the Omni's still alive somehow, but 11 finally end up going down. Now the Rubik Kaka, he gets caught out, but he throws the lasso before he does. He can't survive that much damage there from Jay, and it looks like they will find Ying as well. Fisher on point from Baboka. They'll take him down eventually, though he's still alive, but it won't matter. The Ethereal Blade comes out from Jay, and that's a triple kill from the Morphling. And it just does seem like it's all up to Baboka in these team fights, right? Like, you've got these hard resetting heroes that constantly heal up throughout the engagements. But if you get in there with a massive Echo Slam and just permanently stun everybody, then Jay can just take care of the rest.
Yeah, it's definitely down to this Earthshaker to really get that done. And we saw the effect of it last engagement when he wasn't there, when he didn't manage to get that slam. Keen Gaming got away with a lot. Now, Aster actually, to their credit, did quite well considering just how much sustain Keen had. But they really need that Echo Slam to get any work done on the backline. And again, when Baboka lands it, it works out well. Even if it's just 2 heroes, even if it's just one they burst out, that's enough space for Aster to work in. Otherwise, the 5v5, it's just too much sustain.
It looks like they're going to go in. Old Chicken, he's so low, he's lost the Aegis. Now XXS goes in for the lasso, and he will end up finding Old 11 on that Omni Knight. Though, can they take him out? Not quite yet. Old Chicken being very threatening with that Drow. XXS are going to be able to get out, and now Baboka, again, another nice Fisher to stop them from chasing further. And Aster, they do not want to go any further than that. They do back off.
I think that's fair. You force out the buy, you buy enough time, you burst out that Aegis, and you just kind of pull back, you build yourself up, you wait for your Echo Slam to be back off. Again, it's going to be off the back of Baboka when you take these team fights. And by the time he has it up again, you can pretty much clear out once more. So just give Baboka that time. It is going to be back up soon, and it's going to be safe again to take that fight.
You look at Jay as well. He doesn't mind dragging the game out a bit longer, right? He's a Morphling. He's going to have a Satanic up very, very soon, and he's going straight into the Butterfly after that. Old 11, though, Old Chicken, does end up picking up the full Manta style now on the Drow Ranger. It still just doesn't feel like it's enough. It's almost like she's lacking damage at this point.
It certainly does feel that way. Like, the Drow still gets a massive amount from marksmanship, but as you scale on, it starts to feel a bit static. I mean, it's not as amazing as you'd want. Of course, it still holds out well, but you definitely need to itemize for the late game in order to stay effective.
Dire are scanning.
Aster. Their way in, the Rod of Atos will be there onto Q.
Ah, here we are. 1.6k damage for Jay.
Excellent. Very balanced indeed. Very balanced on the Morphling. Is there any stronger this hero can get? Like, really? It just feels like Morphling's always too damn good.
It's just a really flexible hero. I don't think it's going to be it's never been easy to balance for the most part. And I think it's in a pretty safe spot right now, though. Like, he's still kind of good in this meta, but he's not as popular as the Drow.
Well, lane John. Aster looking for a jump, though there is a smoke out from KG. Another smoke being bought by Dark, so it looks like they want to keep this smoke up. But this weird situation between both teams where neither can really take each other's high ground very well. The brighter side of things, though, Aster, they'll be able to go ahead and claim 4 bounty runes for themselves. There's a lot of gold going their way. They're getting about 130 each bounty rune. That'll give them the slight net worth lead now as well, but though, funnily enough, the net worth has been up and down the whole game, and at the moment it's just sitting so balanced, just 2k the way of Aster, but that's really nothing.
Yeah, again, it's just been fairly even throughout the entire game. We have seen the net worth swing from 3k either side, but never really going beyond that point, and it's actually quite surprising given that both teams have had pretty significant team fights lost. So it's just kind of stable right now.
They smoke, but they're going to run up the hill and Keen. They don't want to borrow this, though. XXS looking for a lasso attempt. He finds Ying. Ying, though, jumping onto Q right now. And the chain's coming out as well. And it looks like, oh, that was a big hit coming up from the Morphling. Jay with that enchant totem. And now the lasso does come out, though. Echo, Baboka, he found all of them again. The Guardian Angel, though, will come out in time. Reaper Scythe as well. Jay's lost his life. Chuan just gets the hell out of there. XXS, he's gone as well. Oh, it was a massive echo coming out, but it's not enough. And now Old Chicken, he's found Q another time. He does have the borrowed time available, so he'll just go for the TP play. The Snowball will not make it in time either. But there's no buyback available on the Morphling.
Yeah, it's a very tough spot to be if you're Aster, and a bit of an awkward one as well, as Chuan is right at the back, but they have a gem, so they actually do spot that Ember out.
Chuan, I wonder if he'll survive this. They don't have the Reaper Scythe available. They do have the Scythe device, though. Perhaps with Kaka there, might be enough damage if he can still perhaps the chains, but... even if you can't find Chuan, like, the high ground is there for your taking. That was a dieback on the Morphling, though. He does have the ability to buy back in 16 seconds from now, but the problem is he doesn't have the buyback gold available.
Yeah, it's going to be a very hard defense for Aster. Again, they already blew their Echo Slam, which it looked like a pretty good slam. In fact, I dare to say that looked like the best slam in terms of heroes caught. It just wasn't fast enough. The BKBs were flying out, the Guardian Angel managed to come out, and you really didn't stop that sustain from the backline. So a bit slow on the reaction. I think once that lasso comes out, once they spot you, you just have to commit. You just jump in, commit in one of the heroes, and try to clean up. In this case, it was just a bit too slow, and that cost them a lot. Like Old Chicken actually won the man fight against Morphling, and we didn't expect that, but he did get the jump there and just managed to stay alive longer and be through the Morphling entirely. Again, bypassing all that armor is actually pretty big against a hero like Morph. He has 49 just from his Agi alone. So you just kind of make him much squishier when he's on full Agi. Just making him a super creep with 1.7k HP and no armor. Just very easy to eat through when you're the Drow at this point in the game.
We'll see how much longer this pause is going to last here from Keen. I'm just waiting for Old 11 to try and reconnect back. It's game number 1. I mean, this is the first game of the day. Already at 46 minutes in, and so darn back and forth. Now that net worth graph again sitting Keen Gaming's way by 2k. Bring up the win probability, and that's also been very up and down. Currently sitting at about 60% the way of Keen Gaming. So it's basically just whoever wins the team fight has the higher probability. Kind of feels like we shouldn't have to pay for that feature, John. I mean, I could probably say that myself without having to see this win probability graph, but there you go. Still Aster. We'll have to wait and see whether they can get a successful defense going this time around. Certainly going to be a lot harder without this Morphling, especially without Baboka. Still possible though. I mean, it doesn't look like they can take mega creeps in this time, but never really know.
I mean, I think it's going to be hanging on whether or not Chuan goes aggressive here. It looks like he is about to walk in. Now, he isn't in vision right now. Keen Gaming has a general idea where he is, because he must have shown himself for a bit, but he isn't quite in vision yet. Once he is in vision, though, he's in a spot of trouble. Again, Kaka has that gem now that they picked up from that last engagement. So if Chuan does walk in for a greedy play, and if he dies here, he's going to have to expend a buyback for the high ground defense.
Surely by this point he's realized the gems there, though. Like, and he's not just sitting there with the paws, just like looking, twiddling his thumbs. I'm sure he's looked at Kaka's items. But you never really know, though, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, it still looks like he's about to rush in. Now, that's a bit scary. Again, he can be punished quite hard. They don't have the Reaper's Sight, but again, they have that Hex. They have the steals from Kaka that could do work, and that might be enough. Again, they have pretty good control on Keen Gaming's side. So yeah, it's a bit worrisome for Chuan. He did go with a pretty greedy build, I have to say. Nothing really defensive coming out from this Ember, which means he's always just living on the edge. The only real defensive item he has is that Yules, which, just kind of bridges off, but isn't really defensive in that same way. So it's gonna be a rough spot for him again if he does get caught out. He is trying to build towards that Lincolns as well, which will help the cause quite a fair bit. But if he does have to expend for buyback, it's not going to be a good time. It looks like he is pinging out as well. He understands where they were. It looks like he might actually commit.
Well, I'd love to find out the answer to that, John. Unfortunately, the pause still is there. Have to wait a bit longer. Considering we're waiting so long, John, I may as well bring up some other questions. Completely unrelated to the game, but they're doing TI9 in Shanghai this year. Where do you think they'll do TI10?
I actually want to see it go back to where TI1 was, back to Cologne. I do want... probably find a better venue than it was before, but taking it back to where it all started kind of sounds like a very nice thing, and now we'll find out. He does go for the greedy play, Mike.
Uh-oh. Gets hexed up, gets lifted as well, and...
You were too noisy to live.
You're telling me, in that whole time, he did not see Kaka with the gem?
I don't know, man. It must have slipped her eye, and now he has to expend that buyback. It will delay his Lincolns as well, and again, he does need that. Too much control coming out from Keen. And he's not going to have that anytime soon with the buyback.
Well, they're going to lose that mid-range rats. Keen, they're going to go straight for T4s. They know the Morphling doesn't have buyback, and they know Baboka doesn't either. How do you defend this if you're on the side of Aster? Tuan's going to get in there, but they've got so much control to deal with him if he gets anywhere near him. And look at the sustain as well. Old 11 and Ying can just keep them up and healthy the whole time. And this game's over. The tier 4's gone. They do run of Atos the Ember, but just forget about that. Just go straight for the Ancient. Ying, though, he'll get the X off, and now XXS, he gets a Lasso. Although Lasso will be thrown out against Tuan, they still do have Old Chicken up in the front lines, but doesn't matter. He's BKB'd up. He'll go for the Ancient, and this game is over.
Just one bad fight from Aster. One bad fight by that Shrine area. And it all goes Keen's way. A really even game all throughout, in fact. And kind of actually favoring Aster towards the end, but just one bad fight turns it around. Keen Gaming managed to clean out game 1, Mike. 31-32 at 48 minutes in. Just a slight 8k net worth lead, but that's all it took.
That is indeed correct, John. And of course, this is a best of 2 series, so there will be a chance to get points for the side of Aster. It's definitely not over for this series. A great game number 1, however. It certainly sets a very nice tone for the China region this close qualifiers around. Of course, we'll be back for game number 2 in just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. It is MLPDotA and johnxfire, and it won't be too long till we are back.